We've always had this outlook of when others are sleeping, you work.
Welcome to Thought Talk, Positivity in Motion. Hosted by best-selling author, speaker, and coach C. Ray Collins.
Communication is still a very important key, and making it positive is something that we don't do enough of.
C. Ray visits with members of our communities and leaders of local businesses on how they share a positive message during difficult and good times. And now, here's C. Ray.
So welcome to Thought Talk, Positivity in Motion. And today I have a great guest that's sort of involved in a little bit of everything. She's a lending specialist. She's in the real estate. She also is a social media influence, and she also is a wife and a mother, and somehow she juggles all these. So Courtney Hill, I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes. And,
pleasure.
So I just kind of summarize that. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself and how all this comes about?
Well, as you said, I juggle a lot, and doing so, I made it a point to do it in a positive manner. I call it impacting your daily life. And I started a business, impact your growth. But basically every day, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I do construction lending, I'm a rep for activewear, Zaya Activewear. I do the motivational piece as well, which just came about by just being positive on a day-to-day in business and in life. So that's just what I do on the day-to-day.
So earlier in your career, though, you got started out as a construction manager, correct?
Yeah, I was on a job site all day, every day, project management. I think 10, 11 years I was doing that. And it consisted of a lot of travel. That 2007, 2008 came, the big blow up of everything. Sure. And I was having to travel more, be away from my family. So it was hard to juggle all of it, So at that point, I was also doing the real estate. I had my real estate license, fix and flip on the side. So I'm always on the move, but there came a point where I had to balance it all. And that's when I got out of the construction project management side, went more onto the mortgage financial side of it, still being able to work in the construction industry, which I love. And, from there, it just grew into other things. But yeah, that's how I started out in project management and construction.
So I know you do basically a weekly, I guess, message on LinkedIn.
Yes.
That's very inspirational and very positive. And so I know you just kind of gradually grew into that, but how did that get started?
That started when I made another career change, when obviously I went from the construction project management into the mortgage financial. Then I decided I wanted to just do it all on the private money brokering deals on that way. So I made a change. I didn't talk to anyone about it, just kind of came up in the spur of the moment, went home to my husband and my kids. And after I'd been at that job for 8 or 9 years, didn't plan on leaving, I said, hey, I'm not there anymore. I'm making a change. But when I made that sudden change, I realized it made an impact on my family, on my children, on myself, 40s, like, what was I doing? What was I thinking? But I was pushed to make a change, and the change ended up being positive in the fact that day when I made that change, I recorded a video about the change and how we go through all these things in life. And we think that we have to just sit down and figure it out by ourselves. But when I shared that, I got so much feedback from people in all types of industry just that relate to these changes as they come up. How do they affect us? How do they affect our family? And how do you keep moving forward through them? And what do you do? So that's how the Sunday start your work week off right.
I've watched several of them, and I really enjoy them because they are a very positive message. So with that positivity, you take that into your other activities.
I do.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's an important thing. I have a book, and then I have another book coming out, and it's all about positive communication and starting your day off right. So what do you do to start your day off right to be positive when you leave that house?
The first thing I do every morning is I pray. I thank God for waking me up every day. And, My family thinks I'm crazy because I literally hit the floor running. I mean, the alarm goes off, I jump out of bed and I just take action. Most people, may sit and stretch a minute, but I literally hit the ground running at night before I go to bed. I have all these lists of the to-dos and then another list. So I wake up every day happy. I'm thankful to wake up, and really when you're starting your day, what do you have? You just started. What do you have to be angry or
Absolutely.
upset about?
Absolutely. So yeah, I also believe in prayer in the mornings or meditation, whichever
Yes.
somebody prefers.
Hmm.
But that's really a great way to start your day.
It is.
So so you mentioned that you're a sportswear rep. So what all does that involve, and do you model with it and all that kind of stuff?
Zaya Activewear. A friend of mine, actually, a lady from back in the younger days, elementary, middle school, high school, she introduced me to Zaya Activewear, and it just involves I model it on the websites and stuff like that, and just motivating people to stay active, whether it's walking, running, doing something with your children. But the line is creating a comfortable wear that you could also wear in the office, with some nice, comfortable slacks, or in a gym or in a yoga studio or anything like that. But the whole concept of it is for anyone and everyone to some way, somehow stay active, So it promotes that active wear in all sense of whichever way that you would use it.
Very good. And then,
Mhm.
so with this positive energy that you have, and I know, like I say, on social media, you inspire people. But so what have you done during the virus epidemic is going on to keep that positive energy flowing? Staying home and restricted where you can go and that type of thing.
I think it's important whenever you're going through things to really take that time to self-reflect.
Mhm.
And for a lot of people, that's hard because self-reflecting means you have to really tell the truth and look at the truth about yourself. So during this time, I spent this time, and my children did the same thing as well. We've always had this outlook of when others are sleeping, you work. So I figured that when this whole COVID thing broke out, that everyone would get laxed and not think about. So I studied to get my mortgage license. Did a whole lot of additional training and stuff like that on the lending side, just to have myself prepared, because I know and I knew once the COVID ran its course, we would all be back in the game and running like crazy, just
Absolutely.
going everywhere. So during this time, I focused every day on doing something to make myself better. I mean, waking up and thinking, okay, what can I do today to help me, help my family, help my life when all of this blows over and everyone's back on the run again? We always say we could have more time. I wish I had more time in the day, but now you've had so much time to get things done and do things. I focus a lot on just making myself better. And I just feel like in any situation where you feel like it's a negative, how to get out of that is to stop and self-reflect and figure out how to make a positive impact on yourself and others around you as you move forward.
Yeah, and even in the books I teach about, doing the little things for yourself, that's a positive motion.
Right.
And those little positive things adds up before you know it, you have a positive wave going.
You're right.
And so that's important, especially when things go the way they do
Exactly.
right now. And so tell me, with all the other things you have going on, any events, speaking events, or anything coming up in your
I don't have
future?
anything planned at the moment. I am working on several things. I don't have dates set just because of the whole COVID thing, trying to get back on track with that, of dates, of getting some things set up. But I do have some things in the works. So I'll definitely be on there, getting all that worked out. But, of course, I'll stay on track with my weekly start your week off right.
So do you normally do that on Sunday, or do you have
I'll do it on Sunday morning, get up and shoot the message and go from there. Sometimes I may do it if we have something crazy going on with the schedule. I may do it earlier in the week or anything like that. But I just kind of go whatever just is in my head at that moment and whatever people may be battling with or however you can make someone look
So I
at
know
the
it's on
situation.
LinkedIn. Do you have it on the other social?
I do. I have it on Instagram and Facebook. Impact Your Growth on both of those.
Impact Your Growth.
Impact Your Growth. Yes, sir.
So let's talk a little bit about, so you just mentioned social platforms that you are on. Is there also ways to contact you outside of the social?
I do. I don't have a website. I feel like a lot of most everything is done on social media. So I've not spent the time to formally set up a website. Right now I do any communication through Facebook, Impact Your Growth, or Instagram, Impact Your Growth, anything with the activewear, Zaya activewear as Zaya with Courtney Hill. And, through that, I go from there. On the lending side, construction lending on the private money side, people are able to reach me through Impact Your Growth as well. So
you've got quite a journey here, and it's played out over the last 20 years for you.
yeah,
Have you thought about writing a book?
I haven't sat down to really look at what that takes, but I've had several people reach out, especially during this COVID, and say, hey, have you thought about writing a book? So the thought is in there. I just haven't sat down to see what that looks like. But I think as this new life comes forth with myself, as I told you, as I mentioned before, my last child will be leaving for college in 10 days. There's a lot of time for me that I haven't had in 20 years. So I'm going to figure out exactly what to do with all that time. And it's freeing because now I get to do exactly what I want to do and in the manner that I want to do it and the time that I want to do it without having the guilt of trying to juggle not only a career and being positive and being there to uplift your family. And now, I feel inspired to uplift others, but to just do what I want to do and do for me. So I've never had that experience in all these years. So it's exciting.
Yes, it is exciting. So you mentioned you got your youngest one leaving. So how many children you have?
We have three children.
Three children, and this is your youngest.
This is our youngest leaving. She'll be at SMU, so she'll be close.
Oh, that's not too
Our
bad.
oldest graduated from Texas A&M in December, and she's back in the Dallas area. She's a pharmaceutical sales rep for Eli Lilly, and our son will be at Mizzou for baseball. So
Wow.
we're very active family.
Yeah, very active family.
Yes.
So I do appreciate you being here today.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's been very enlightening, and,
Mhm.
and hope maybe we can do this again.
Yes, sir. Of course.
I just want to leave it today. The smile is probably the most powerful, positive message that you can send to anybody. It sends those positive energy waves into your brain, into your subconscious. So every opportunity you get today, smile. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you.